And I see people making uncanny comparisons with Paul Kagame, my good friend Ibrahim Traore. And I say, some of these folks are operating in a slightly different environment, where their word is obeyed instantly, without question. It's a different environment. You say, this guy is not doing things. Traore is doing them. Traore wakes up, dreams them up. Following morning, he makes a pronouncement. It is law. It is policy. Action follows. And I wake up and I say stuff, they look at me and say, what is this? What is this man talking about? We need to take it through this stage and that stage and put it to tender, float the tender. It takes 2 years, then we evaluate, then there are complaints, and there's an interdict. We wait another 4 years. By that time, you have to go and account to the people, and they remove you. Those who came before me did not fail because they didn't have ideas. They did. Maybe even better ideas. They just didn't implement them. Why? Because perhaps they failed to appreciate that the structures that are in place are not properly suited to the attainment of quick action. So you need to subvert some of these rules and processes unapologetically. And I will do it. Let me tell you here and now. I will. Within the confines of the law, and I know it. If there's anything I know, it's the law. That's all I know, really. So I will, within the law. Tell me to flight a tender, take 2 years to procure some much needed service. I'm not going to waste anybody's time with that. I'm going to take the quick route, as the crow flies, straight on to action. And I'll take fire from politicians. That's what I'm always ready for. I like it. I enjoy, I relish the fire. But I will do what is good for the people. For any industry that must drive and power this economy, we're going to do it together.
Africa stands at a historic crossroads.
So, with the ideas that you will churn out and channel to the government, which will be well thought out, informed by your experiences, we will then shape policy, develop our laws, and make the environment conducive to your doing the business that you so passionately love. There's another angle. When I broached the subject of a living wage of 4,000, one of the members of one of the business people said, we've gone beyond what you suggest. We've actually introduced a system by which our employees can also acquire some stake in the business and become part owners, shareholders in some shape or form of the business. Very interesting proposition. As a tool to manage, when they are invested in the business themselves, and they know that if they go on strike, they are affecting their own profits, as it were, or dividends, I don't think they'll be quick to strike. And so we can deploy this as a management strategy, actually. If we are not committed to the principle that at least it will manage our industrial relations, there will be no conflict. But there are other compelling reasons for the living wage, advanced by scholars and economists. They say it curbs absenteeism, that it increases productivity. When they are paid reasonably well, they are happier. They are therefore more disposed to perform optimally. That there is no decision fatigue. They apply themselves. And when productivity is raised, even the profits will increase. So there's a compelling argument for the living wage. And at this point, I simply implore and encourage that we take this route of the living wage so that our employees are happier, more productive. There's no turnover where you have now keep training. Few months the person goes. It's a huge cost to the company when you go through such cycles. So it's important for us to understand these things. And I'm here to assure you that your government, and I want you to understand this, your government, and often when I see stuff written by the civil servants, my government, no, I don't have a government. I'm part of a government that is serving you. It's your government. So you must make it the government you deserve. And you must guide, you must inform, you must always be there to engage, to direct, and to ensure that what is done is in accordance with the dictates of what the industry wants. And that's my job, really. Very simple task for me. I have the easiest job in the world, by the way. I just have to listen to people who know, understand what they are saying, and do it. Can that be difficult? No. So why do we complicate some of these things? This is how easy it is. And so I am happy to be here with you today. I trust that you will engage fruitfully, robustly in your deliberations, that you will fashion appropriate solutions for the transient problems that we continue to face as a country, as the tourism industry, that other aspects, transportation, marketing, we develop together. You point out what has to be done and how we also manage the destination management companies which are domiciled outside our jurisdiction but which trade in inventory that is sitting here and profit from it in a manner that we cannot access. We may at some point have to pass a law that says every entity wherever registered that is dealing in our inventory, the wildlife, the wilderness, wherever it is registered, is deemed to be domiciled in Botswana for purposes of tax and other considerations. We may have to go that route. I'm merely signaling. I'm not there yet. I'm throwing it to you so that you can bounce it back more refined. And then we will be able to deal with some of the challenges of the human-wildlife conflict. And the reality there is, these folks who have to coexist with the wildlife. I come from Mahalapi. There are no elephants there. There are no lions. There's no wildlife in Mahalapi. So I've not had to coexist with these animals. But others in certain other parts of the country face a different lived reality. They have to coexist with these. They can't grow crops. Their whole economic landscape is shaped by the overbearing presence of the wildlife. And so certain things that I can do in Mahalapi, they can't do in their area. But when the proceeds of tourism come, we are expected to partake of them equally. It actually is inequitable. We need to introduce a fair bit of equity. Not equality, equity. Appreciating that they are bearing a heavier risk than those of us who are somewhat detached from the wildlife. And so a system of recompense that acknowledges this lived reality of theirs and invests a portion of the proceeds of this industry into securing their lives and livelihoods is actually a requirement at this point. In fact, we have delayed, and as a result, we have treated them unfairly.